Welcome back, everyone, to Wichita Vice.
What's up, guys?
What's up? It's your friendly neighborhood hood comic book nerd, Mr. Brad.
Well, I like that. I don't have one for today. It's just Captain Chris with a K.
And me, as always, straight from the Fortress of Solitude, is the off-brand Superman, Marquez Christopher Easton.
And your boy, Captain D.
I see.
I don't have one yet, but I promise on the next show I will. This is your host, Carlos. You guys, finally, Marquez, we've been talking about this for a long time. Finally, we have put him to the forefront. We're going to talk about Isaiah Bradley, a.k.a. the first Captain America, with asterisks on there.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Sabra, Scorpia, and the Leader. And do not forget, we did the show on Silver Cosmo Movie Review, Captain America Brave New World. Before we dive in, let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Hey guys, why don't you check out She Barber Cuts Barbershop and give Markeisha Brown, the licensed professional barber there, a call at 316-218-3566 for all your haircut needs. She's got cuts for kids, adults, and for those who are looking for the good one, the deluxe with beard trims, wash, and hot towels. So don't forget to give Markeisha a call at She Barber Cuts and see her at 2319 North Ridge, Barber Suite 6A here in Wichita, Kansas.
Let's start off with the heroes. We have Isaiah Bradley. Isaiah Bradley, as known as the first Captain America. He should have. Asterisks again, in parentheses. Created by Axel Alonso, Robert Morales, and Kyle Baker. His first appearance was issued in Truth, Red, White, and Black.
Yes.
Yeah, quite a bit. Issue 1 back in January of 2003. Marquez, you have the floor. Tell us a little bit about Isaiah Bradley.
He was actually one of the Steve Rogers, the super soldier serum. It was actually tested on a group, a small group of black regiment. He wasn't technically the first Captain America, but he was the first black Captain America. They tested it on him and his group, and it didn't turn out too well. It didn't take. It made them in the comic book. Now, this is separate from what we've seen in the movies, but the story, Truth, Red, White, and Black, it was retconned into Marvel's history. It wasn't originally a part of the original continuity. They had to retcon the character. Now, Isaiah Bradley, it was him and 5 other people. He was the only one to survive the process. He actually, the story, the books I have in front of me, I'll just give you a brief overview of what happens within the book. He went to World War II. He actually fought and encountered Hitler. And it was Adolf Hitler. He basically blew through the men because he was enhanced. But the super soldier serum, it had all kinds of uncertainties. It just wasn't set right. It was kind of like a early test subject. And he proven to be, he did his job. He encountered Hitler, and he got the guys out, but they didn't survive, because of the way that the super soldier serum didn't take. It was basically, and it's funny to me that they make Captain America, that's the way he becomes superheroes, the most American way possible, with steroids.
He's roiding out.
I've always thought that was strange. I remember, I have to reference this, but when in the first Infinity War, when Iron Man, when they were being tempted by the Infinity Stone, when they were being angered, he said, "Everything special about you came out of a bottle." And that was kind of one of those moments. It was like, ooh, he's not lying, but then again. But originally, what the super soldier serum did in the movies, they said it takes what's on the inside and puts it on the outside. But in the book, especially in the Truth, Red, White, and Black, it was a lot of political upheaval and red tape. In fact, Isaiah Bradley was prisoned for wearing Captain America's costume. And it was kind of like this shameful, this international disgrace that they kind of swept under the rug. And then when it in the comic book, when it finally came to a head, and Captain America, Steve Rogers, was made aware of it, and he had them release Isaiah Bradley.
And so, in reference to that, Marquez, but I'm going to ask Don real quick. What did you see in the TV show that made him be somewhat of interest to you in that show in Falcon and Winter Soldier?
It was somebody that you never heard about, and because the government kept them hidden because they were kind of ashamed of him. They didn't want somebody representing the country at that time, a man of color, representing, because those were times that is predominantly, white America, and white America, not everybody was accepting of people of non-white, basically represent the country and showing that they can, come to the forefront and do good. And it's a shame that it be like that. But what I liked about him, he still had, a lot of the attributes, of Captain America: quickness, speed, agility, strength. It's just that, but because of him being in prison for so long, and then now being released, he's still holding a lot of that resentment to the, the American government, which kind of relates to,
yeah.
and it holds true to, people of color, government really kind of, we get treated kind of unfairly. I hate to kind of say it like that, but.
I mean, and that's the thing, Don. I love the fact that you bought. I mean, I like in this story how unapologetic they were with the character. You know what I mean? They didn't try to make any excuses for anything. They didn't. When I watched Falcon Winter Soldier, I was delighted that they referenced that, because I didn't think they would bring a story like that to the forefront. You know what I mean? I was surprised that not so many people didn't know about Isaiah Bradley and the Captain America legacy. And you would be surprised at how many friends, speaking of black characters in Marvel, how many friends of mine still don't know that Blade is a Marvel character. I'm
not going to laugh at them, because I didn't know Blade was even a Marvel character. But if you watch the first Blade movie, it shows right there Marvel.
It does, but see, and then a friend of mine, he didn't try to argue for it, but he said that to be fair, this was before the movie Blade came out, before Marvel was doing the whole expansive shared universe, shared cinematic universe. So it really.
Do you still remember that Spider-Man the Spider-Man show, the 90s?
Yes. Blade was in that. Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
That's where I first saw Blade.
Yeah, him and Whistler.
Yeah. Whistler was in it, and Van Helsing. There was an anime with Blade in it recently. About 10 years ago, but where he was actually trained by Van Helsing, and his sword was silver and vibranium, which I thought that was a cool mix.
Yeah. I think I remember watching that, and of course his main enemy was Frost.
It was Deacon Frost was. But back to Isaiah Bradley, just to go over real quick, his fighting style in this book, he was just like a tank, just like he fought more like if you took a lineman and put him
like
in
the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he fought like just a brute force. He just rushed in. There was very little strategy, because he knew. I think a lot of it was that he wanted to die. I mean, I got the sense that in the story, reading the dialogue, that he wanted to die, so he kind of threw himself in any kind of situation, almost to kind of accelerate his own death, because he knew he didn't have anything to go back to. He knew in his era he would never be respected. Now, the thing about, real quick, Carlos, I got to make this point though. No one knew what the super soldier serum would do to you long term, and this is why, like, when people like Bucky, any enhanced individuals that have stretched through made it through the stretch of from, like, they took one era and they end up in another, what they do is they bridge the gap between eras, because they live so long. It's like something my grandmother said about her mother. She said that she could tell you what it was like before we had television. She could tell you what it was like before there were cars, before there were refrigerators, before running water was an actual thing, before you had connected bathrooms and stuff like that. And I think a character like Isaiah Bradley being brought to the forefront, he can bridge the gap between past Marvel and current Marvel. I wish they use him more in future projects, just because of the fact that I realize, for some weird reason, even though Black history is a part of American history, a lot of people still seem like they're uncomfortable with characters like this. And to me, personally, I think it's inspiring. I think it's to everybody, not just Black people, but to me, it's uplifting. It's a story. It's tragic. It kind of makes you think about, like, like one of the things I always like to do when I read a comic book, I say, okay, what would I do if I was that character? How would I react if I had superpowers and do like that, and it affected me differently? Would my sanity, how would it affect me emotionally, my relationships with you guys? How would that if I had powers?
I try to stay away from you.
But guys, think about it. Let's say we all had powers and we stopped an invasion somewhere. Afterwards, we couldn't just go to lunch. The press would get involved, and the government wants to get involved, and merchandise.
Depends on where you're going to lunch. I mean, if we all got powers, let's go.
Okay, but collateral damage. Okay. Do we have
collateral damage is different.
Do we have superhero insurance? I mean,
That's
how would that work?
I thought we had Allstate. We're in good hands.
That's what I liked about.
No, I mean.
I think it was The Boys that they actually have like superhero insurance because they're in the real world, quote unquote, and anyway, that's a whole different deal.
But The Boys, they kind of, I think they're kind of making fun of superheroes. I'm sorry.
They definitely
are. But Marquez, look at it like this: if just give it a little bit more, a little bit backstory, because remember, he took on the mantle after Pearl Harbor. And then, he just got married. His wife was pregnant, Faith, I believe. And so he served so he's doing everything what any proud American would do, serve his country and go. Mm-hmm. But they reference it to, in real life, what happened with the Tuskegee.
Tuskegee Airmen, or Tuskegee Institute.
The Tuskegee experiment.
Yes, I mean, that's terrible.
Very tragic.
Very, and then they took reference into that, but good job with Marvel going there. And the cool part about it is that, with all due respect, to the culture and all this and that itself, I'm glad. See, people don't give credit to Stan Lee. Stan Lee was on the forefront that said, "Hey, we need to introduce diversity. We need to be able to." So everyone could relate, and that's why I have that respect for Stan Lee, because Stan Lee was able to take a leap forward on it and said, "Hey, we need to do that." And for all the Black Panther fans, okay, remember, you guys, he's not American. He's from Wakanda. He's not the first. It's actually Isaiah Bradley. Just throwing it out there for you guys. Then later on, you got your Luke Cage and all that. But Luke Cage is, to me, he's not a hero. He's a hero for hire. But that's a story for another day.
That's even in the,
but
in the
what I'm really
book.
glad out of all this, Don and Brett, you guys, out of this lineage, we get the Young Avengers. Isn't it his son? That's one of the members of the Young Avengers.
Super Patriot.
And then his grandson.
His grandson, who's actually a clone of him, I think. Yeah. I can't remember the exact, but I think his grandson.
I was going to say,
a clone of him.
Doesn't he eventually lose his fertility or whatever?
Yes. I think don't they go through surrogacy or something like that? No, they took
his sperm and then took his wife's eggs and made
in vitro
super babies.
And for all our young audience out there, don't worry about it, you guys. You just wait when that time comes. We'll talk more about it.
You'll have a class on it one day.
But indeed, that is just check it out, you guys. Check it out at your local comic book stores.
Thank you.
Or your Barnes and Noble, and look up this comic book, Truth. Red, white, and black. I'm telling you, this is an amazing story. And that concludes Isaiah Bradley. Let's move on over to another hero we're bringing all these heroes to the forefront. It's Sabra, created by Bill Mantlo and Sal Buscema. First appearance in the Incredible Hulk 250 issue in 256 back in 1881. Her abilities are, she has mutant abilities. Hey, guess what, Fox? You can't say nothing because that's her.
I know, right? That's her thing.
Holler at me. Superhuman strength, speed, agility, reflexes, endurance, and stamina. Ability to transfer power and life energy to others, and regenerative healing factors. And then she has a gauntlet that releases kind of like poisons and here and there. That's kind of
like knockout guy.
I'm going to go ahead and kick this off with you, Marquez. Tell me a little bit about Sabra.
Well, originally she was an Israeli soldier, super soldier. Mm-hmm. They didn't show this, but she had a cloak that could defy gravity. Gives her flight and everything like that. And she has superpowers. I read in the encyclopedia that she's 5'11", 240 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah,
because of her
whole different.
Yeah, her body. It's just because her body, her bone density is so much more than an average human.
Oh,
okay.
It's
Dude,
not because
her
yeah, that was
How
part
did
of
that
her
How did that
power.
work out in the Captain America: Brave New World?
They
Not
went
well.
opposite.
I
They
don't
went
think
opposite.
yeah,
I
they
think.
just.
She was like 5'4".
They went as opposite as they could possibly go.
Yeah, I think
I
they-
don't think she was 5 foot. That
Yeah.
little girl was tiny.
I asked myself, like, how old is she? When I saw the movie, I'm like, is that Sabar? That's not her. That's not.
You know who should have played her in the movie? What's her name? That former MMA.
Gal Gadot.
No.
Ronda Rousey.
No. The one that
Gina
played
Carano.
Carano, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But she was already Deadpool as
Oh yeah. She.
so. I don't think.
Anyways, all right. Keep it going.
Okay. Well, no. She has a fighting ability. She was originally an enemy for the Incredible Hulk, which the knockout gas it didn't affect him much at all.
Hey, she tried.
Yeah.
They tried.
Yeah.
But you see, Don, in that comic book series, now starting off, see the thing is that she's very patriotic, Israeli
Yeah.
patriotic.
She's a
and
cop.
And we're gonna go ahead and talk about this straight up front. We're talking about the character itself. So for our audience out there, we just want to put the disclaimer here. We are not talking political here. We're just only talking about the character itself.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just throwing it out there. But yes, she was a police officer, worked for the Mossad. How you say the Mossad? The
Yeah,
Mossad. And so, from what I was understanding here, is that she's already has these mutant abilities already from the
she was
forefront.
born.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the Hulk, because Chris, you brought that up. Her entanglement with the Hulk was not because of mere, I'm going to pick a fight. She was just doing her duty. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I don't know much about that.
Oh, thanks a lot, Chris. Well, let me help you out. Well, what
you
happened
talk
was
about
that Silver Surfer was making his
Yeah.
way through. And so what happened was on that, everyone picked up. So think about it. When a foreign object comes into your aerospace, what do you do? Airspace.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's on full alert. Well, the Hulk, if I'm right, can you correct me if I'm wrong, Marquez, but the Hulk made friends with a Palestinian boy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did.
And
Yeah, that's right.
got caught in
As the Hulk or as Banner?
no, it was Hulk.
As
Okay.
Hulk. Yeah.
And he was unfortunately killed.
The kid
And
was.
so Saber thought that it was Hulk that killed the boy, and they
So
start
she
fighting.
was going after him for that.
Yeah.
And then he kind of told her, no, it's because of you guys fighting. This is what happened. And
Yeah.
so she felt bad. And the thing is that it puts you in this spot, because if you look at the name Sabra, it has a double meaning. I mean, one is, I think it's like a plant, a fragile, like a something about a fragile plant, and another one is a name for someone that's from Israel, a Sabra. You know what I'm saying? So what's very, very interesting about this is, yes, in the comic books, looked like her cape looked like it came from a roadkill, but
Yeah, it was fur. It was fur, like a fur
I
coat.
thought it was like a rug, like that bath rug that you.
Yeah, it didn't look like something that you would
where'd you
think
get that
of
at,
as-
TJ Maxx?
Yeah, I was thinking like, okay, that's
Oh,
interesting.
her release,
From
the
that-
art
And
on
then she
her-
had that,
her
like, she
early
has
art.
the Star of David there. I mean, the silk's
Yeah.
kind of cool. And
Yeah,
then-
This is like I
white and
think
blue. Yeah,
That's Civil War, I think, is where that is from.
yeah.
She was on the good side, or no, I don't want to say good side. She was on the government side, is what I meant
well,
to say.
but remember, when she was in the comic
Least
book
to the
series, when
end.
she was taken up with the champions, she fought against She-Hulk, and She-Hulk gave her a whooping.
Yeah, that was.
And gave her a whooping. But they
Yeah.
end up winning. But also on a good side is that she can give healing powers and give powers kind of like a distribute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what's her windstorm?
Windstorm.
Windstorm. Yeah. So she gave her that, but Windstorm went sideways and used it for evil, and so she had to take that power back and took that power and helped the boy that was hurt. But she also faced some tragedies as well. Her son was killed. So her
She did have a
was-
son. Yeah.
and so, see, again, that's where all this political and strife comes to be. And, it's so unfortunate that it's actually reflecting in real life right now. But let's bring it up, Don. Okay, so we're going to go there a little bit. We're going to test the waters.
Okay.
Do you agree or disagree in the Marvel MCU that they brought her up, but they switched it to make sure there was no damage or, political uprising or like bad media? What do you think about how they introduced Sabra into the MCU?
It's kind of tough. I feel I get with the whole mutants thing and the whole political thing. I feel they should have stuck true to that character. They didn't have to do a whole backstory. They should have just said who she was and where she's from, and just be truthful to the character. And then even if she is a mutant, there's got to be a way to be able to bring the character out without saying she's a straight up mutant. Just say she's enhanced her with abilities. And then just have her come from that country. You didn't have to change the whole country and the whole origin. Yeah. They should have just kept true to that character coming from the comic book, because I feel that you don't do it justice when you try to flip stuff up just to, you're afraid of political, backfire. There could have been ways they could have went about it.
And it's kind of like, and I'm glad you brought that up, Don, because it's like, what's his name? Scarlet Witch, and what's her brother's name again? Quicksilver. Yeah. They're Jewish as well, because their father, of course, Magneto, and then their mother is coming from Romania, I think.
Yeah, Romania.
They never brought about that in Age of Ultron and all them. They just said they were from Sokovia or whatever it was.
Yeah,
but
they changed that up.
They changed it.
But they were mutants.
They could have made her, if they didn't want to do the Israeli thing, they could have made her from a fake country, just like
like Wakanda.
But Marquez, what if they
Sokovia would have been a good one.
What if they did say, hey, she's from Israel? Okay, if you wanted to, how would you do it to where it shows her true heritage, but not to make upset the other viewers, if you get where I'm getting at? Like, how would you do that?
Given everything that's going on right now, I don't mind when creators take certain liberties with characters, because there's a lot of things that you can't do in the movie that you can do in a book. Like a lot of people, and I hate this statement, but I have to use it. But when people say, well, the book is better than the movie, and it's like, I always ask them, okay, of course, I said, okay, was the book subject to time restraints, scheduling conflicts, director changes? And books have so much more time. If I were to say, Carlos, tell me your life story in 5 minutes. And if I say, Carlos, tell me your life story in 5 hours, it's going to be two entirely different stories based on the same subject.
I mean, that's Academy Awards all the way across. All the way across.
But you see what I mean? Yeah. The books, they have certain liberties that TV shows and movies just don't have access to. So to put that out there, I think what they could have done, if they wanted to keep her true to the comic without upsetting people, is just give her like a small tattoo somewhere,
like a special Israeli special forces or something.
Or they could have put it on her normal suit. She had the Star of David right here.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say was, we have a Middle Eastern superhero as well. I did some digging, and she's teamed up with him, but they just have indifferences. His name. I saw it. We're gonna bring.
Okay. We have to, because in Marvel.
Of course.
Okay.
I think I saw it, but I don't know his name.
We'll give him his due.
Okay.
But Chris, I'm going to ask you a question on this. So now that in the MCU she's technically the Black Widow, how do you feel that's going to give just going forward? Does that mean, hey, Scarlett Johansson, thanks for serving your part as this Black Widow, we're moving on?
Yeah, I mean, she's done. She was done, I think, in the end game when she went over the cliff. I think she really did go away. Also, like, she was fighting seriously with Disney, so I don't think they're bringing her back anytime soon. And they've now got Yelena Belova. They've got the whole Widow Society's destroyed, basically, and so they can pick from any Widow
Thunderbolts. Yeah,
and you've got the Thunderbolt.
I not get rid of Christine Pugh.
I think
you don't get rid of her.
No, I don't think they're going to get rid of her, but when they see each other, they may talk and they may be like, "Oh, hey, what are you know?" Like there might be this buddy thing that goes between them, or they may be like, super rivals and be like, "I hate you."
But I mean, we'll just have to see how it goes going forward with it. But like Marquez said, and I'm going to take a page out of his book. Okay, you're fine. I agree with you. We already said in Vice, we give you the comic book. We'll do a little bit of reference. If you're going to do your MCU, so be it. But at the end of the day, that's the MCU. We do the comic books. Now, you guys, let's that wraps up the hero side. Let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
With spring here and all the storms on their way, you need to make sure you have the proper home, auto, and all your properties insured. We here at Razor Cut Information just can't get enough of our favorite insurance man, Ernie Ruelas. Please visit Ernie and his State Farm agency at 11330 East Central Avenue, Suite 400, Wichita, Kansas, 316-682-2300. Thank you so much, Ernie.
We're going to talk about the villains. Yeah, you got to show some love to the villains. We have Scorpia. Scorpia was created by Gregory Wright and Derek Robertson. Her first appearance was Spider-Man, The Power of Terror, issue 2. Her superpowers is, well, she's just a human being, technically. But she's got a cybernetic suit that provides her with superhuman powers and attributes of a scorpion. Also, she can emit project blasts and micro-thin force field. Marquez, tell me a little about Scorpia.
Yeah, that was the comic book. You know, her suit is controlled by nanites, and she has I think the nanite control system is micro hardwired into her brainstem and spinal column.
Is that the same as Dr. Ock?
Not quite. No,
Not quite.
He had it grafted into his spine and it stuck into his spine.
Were they still nanites? That was.
I don't believe.
Well,
so.
the creator was Silvermine. Silvermine
Silvermine,
is,
yeah.
And remember where she's from? She's from Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
So she has her run-ins.
Manhattan.
Yeah, she has her run-ins with
Daredevil.
Daredevil,
Yeah.
the Punisher,
Yeah.
Spider-Man here and there.
Yeah.
So she's something else. But tell me a little bit about more about her, Marquez.
Oh, just her fighting style. Just her physiology is not like a scorpion, but she does fight like a. You know, she has that
Like a scorpion?
Yeah. Not to be confused with Mortal Kombat Scorpion.
Oh no.
What about the other guy, Scorpion?
Yeah, Scorpion. Yeah, the Scorpion, Spider-Man's main Scorpion villain. You know, yeah, that's kind of like I thought
She was just kind of a low key character. One thing that I
Yeah,
did
just
admire
like-
about her story is that when Silvermine created her, I mean, she was enhanced, like not the same thing as the Scorpion, but the thing is with her is that her proudness in the way that, because she was already psychotic anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah,
that
she
was
was-
already a lost cause, and the thing was, it was a great project for Silvermine to say, hey, you know what? I'll give you these powers. You do me these biddings. Remember,
Yeah.
she she got. She was in cahoots with the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
And then she had her own group coming up. They killed Dr. Octopus. And so that she made some noise.
Wow.
She made some noise. And so the thing is with her is that she thought she was rehabilitated, and that was not the case. And so she's not made I don't think she's made a cartoon appearance, but
No,
like she's just
I don't remember.
she's just a low key character. Like she's just someone that we're trying to bring up in the forefront.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Because
Yeah.
all I ever knew was just Scorpion.
Well, a Scorpion, of course. I mean,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Elaine Cole, that is her name, Elaine Cole. You guys, we showed her some love, and so now we know who she is. If you want to find out more about her, please check out the Marvel Comics. Also, look at the Marvel Encyclopedia. It's always good to know the heroes and the villains that are not getting noticed.
Yeah.
Now we've got the main villain, the leader. The leader was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. First appearance in Tales to Astonish, issue 62, back in December of 1964. The leader has superhuman intelligence, telekinesis, telepathy, gamma ray manipulation, and self-resurrection. Marquez, tell me a little bit more about the leader.
Samuel Stearns. Yeah, he's as smart as the Hulk is strong. It was always an interesting dynamic to put strength versus intelligence. You know, I always felt like that was kind of a really cool dynamic to play with from a narrative point of view. But when you look at he can do calculations in his mind that no one could solve. That's what they showed about him in the Captain America: Brave New World. But in the comic book, you know, he was just creating all this kind of strange anti-gamma technology. And I remember one time, it was on the show. This is one of my favorite episodes with the character. I mean, I think it was the best portrayal of the character. It was a show called Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It's an animated show.
Right.
It was called Gamma World, Part 1 and Part 2. He wanted to turn the entire world into Hulks.
I remember that. Yeah, we remember that episode because me and you watched it. Don.
Yeah, it was just this
Been a while.
really, and you got to see all of our favorite Avengers hulked out, and it was just, and the voice of reason. Guess who it was? It was the Hulk.
Hulk himself.
Yeah, and the Absorbing Man was on the leader's team, and he touched Thor's hammer, and he absorbed Thor's hammer in this episode. And I thought, oh crap, how are they going to stop him? And he started beating the crap out of Thor and everybody. And then I was wondering why Thor wouldn't fight him back. And all of a sudden, Thor raised his hand and stopped it. And he said, "You were foolish to absorb the essence of Mjolnir. I control Mjolnir." And I was like, "Oh crap, he does!" I'm like, "How did I not put that together?" And he used Absorbing Man as Mjolnir. He threw him into the, but it was just
we're talking about a guy that was a janitor. Okay, and I'm hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But here's the deal: he got exposed to that. And then got the migraines, and Advil couldn't help out. And next thing you know, he mutated. And I remember in the show Iron Man, he made an appearance in Iron Man. And he was giving Iron Man a hard time as well. But tell me the portrayal in the movie, Captain Brave New World. Remember, he made his appearance in The Incredible Hulk. And years later,
17
he
years
comes
ago.
back. So tell me a little bit about that.
I thought it was a great callback. Honestly, it really made me think like, oh man, I thought there was something that everyone just forgot about and just let fall by the wayside. And I remember thinking like, okay, yeah, he did fall and hit his head, and he got some of Bruce Banner's blood in his head, in the scar that he had on his head, and that mutated his brain, and it made his synaptic firing patterns fire so fast that he could come up with all sorts of solutions to pretty much any problem. Now, a lot of people, I forgot who asked me this. One of my longtime friends, he said, "How could you beat a guy like that?" You know,
Ask Hulk.
Yeah, I know. But then I was saying that predictions, calculations aren't certainties. You know what I mean? I mean, these are probabilities, not certainties. You can't say because somebody is good at calculating and coming up with possible solutions that's gonna happen. No one's, even with that, you can't predict the future as accurate. I mean, these are just almost like bank shots.
Always unknown variables.
Yeah, and he can account for variables, but only to a certain extent. But I love the fact that they brought the character, and I love the fact that, spoiler alert, they didn't kill him. One of the things that in the movies that they do so often is they kill the villain. There's so many extraordinary villains that they kill off that I don't think should be dead. They should just be out there, out there looming, and could come back at any moment and pose a threat. You know what I mean? That's always been...
Now that you brought that up, Marquez, I'm going to ask for the spoiler here. So when he made at that final credit scene, when he was talking about other worlds, who do you think the leader was referencing?
I'm thinking he was referencing the Dark Avengers, like evil versions of the Avengers that are going to come and threaten the Marvel Universe. Like, we're going to see an evil Scarlet. We've already seen evil Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness. Evil Captain America, most likely Chris Evans will come back to portray evil Captain America. Him and Sam will probably go at it. The evil Hulk, evil Widow, Scarlet Witch will come back. And I'm wondering how they're going to do it. I know people say they hate the multiverse, but I don't see any other way they're going to bring in the evil.
Yeah, there's no way around it.
Yeah. They have to use that plot.
Let me guess, who's going to make an appearance? Howard the Duck, the evil.
Knowing them, they probably would.
Yeah. There you go, Brad.
Yeah, probably do justice from that terrible movie they made back in the 80s.
I would love to see an evil Deadpool. Got to put that out there, guys.
But in the series, in the comic books, and also in the TV shows, I mean, I do like the fact that his intelligence is so high that he can organize people and get them going. And you just can't understand how the Hulk gets the best of him and everything. But one of the things that I do have to admit, that the leader is very intriguing. He's very intriguing. And the way I just wish that he had something else too. Because I know he's teamed up with MODOK. Am I right? He's had interaction with MODOK and like that. So that's just I'm glad that Tim. What's his name again? Tim, the guy that played the leader.
Oh, in the movie?
Yeah. Oh, what's his name?
What is his name? I can't think of it right now.
Me neither.
It's the same
Blake,
actor
right?
from.
Tim Blake.
It's the same actor from.
He was in Oh Brother Art Thou. I just remember.
Yeah. No, he did a good job. I mean, this type of cynical, cold, calculating, straightforward villain. You know what I mean? Who kind of stays behind the scenes and uses technology really well.
In the cartoons, you remember that Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? He looks like a savage celery.
Oh yeah, he
With the little,
does.
yeah. And this
Yeah.
one here, I don't know. The I still can't dig the head. His head.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But-
It kind of looks like one of them characters from the Veggie Tales.
The dark Veggie Tales.
Or a garbage pail kid.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember those from when I was a kid.
His head is exploding.
For our younger viewers, you gotta look it up.
What was that old? I think it was late '80s or early '90s. Oh, they made a movie. It was on USA. The Toxic.
Avenger.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what he
that
does.
was
Yeah,
a-
that
The movie was terrible, but hey, you know what?
But it has a cult following now.
Yeah.
It was good,
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, it was a
terrible.
good
There
kind
you
of
go.
terrible. I mean, Toxic Waste gave you whatever you needed: super power, super strength, super flight, hearing. It just.
And a mop for something.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you guys, that wraps up our villains and heroes as well. Let's go and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Well, I don't know about you folks, but here at Sports Fellas, things can get, well, a nice right funk going on sometimes. And in that time of need, we turn to our friend Kimberly Sampson, our own personal Cincy independent consultant. She is our favorite star consultant, so for your scent needs, get a hold of Kimberly at heavenlyscentswithkim@gmail.com or visit her website, heavenlyscentswithkim.cincy.us. You can also call her at 316-282-7363. That's Kimberly Sampson at Cincy, our favorite independent consultant.
All right, you guys. Well, don't forget, we got the Thunderbolts coming out in May. And also in July, we will have Marquez's Superman.
Yeah.
And we also have the Fantastic Four. We're going to be very busy with that. For our local fans, you know already, when we do our drawing, you guys got to like, subscribe, smash that like button. You guys show us some love. In return, get your name in the drawing so you guys can get some free tickets to go see a movie. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. So we're going to do a good giveaway of that in May. So for the Thunderbolts. And then we're going to do something big for July. So be on the lookout for that. Any shout-outs before we go, Brett?
Shout outs to everyone listening to the podcast, all you comic book readers, gamers, and fellow nerds alike. And as always, hi, Mom and Dad.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks to everybody for listening.
Hey, shout out to the listeners and everybody running, the crew here and keeping us going.
Definitely.
I appreciate it. Hey, shout out.
Man, I'm going to do a quick shout out to our comic book nerds here. Thank you guys as always. Marquez, I finally got one of your favorite characters here.
Yeah.
It's always amazing to bring up the characters to the forefront. Ever since I've known you, when you've told me that you like the Black Adam and then also Superman. I mean, we still have our debates about Superman and Batman,
Right.
but overall, it's
Yeah.
always an honor, and I appreciate it that you
Of
share your
course.
knowledge.
Absolutely.
Much appreciated.
And
Also,
thanks for
to
having me.
all our comic book nerds at my job, this is a shout out to the homies there: Sierra, Christian, Daniel. D'Angelo, you guys know that anytime I can talk about the show, I love sharing it with you guys. Also to our comic books as stores and our locally here in Wichita, Kansas, Prairie Dog, Wizard Asylum. Thank you guys. And also Hero Haven, I think it's called. It's on Rock Road. Shout out to you guys as well. Thank you guys so much for sharing the knowledge as well. Until then, stay tuned for the next episode of Silver Cause Movie Reviews, and then we'll do another Vice. Until then, we're out.